Are you looking for an alternate way to ramp in your deck? Well, guess what? Here is all the land cycling cards, just of all the types that they can be. First off, we've got just the basics. We got basic land cycling, Ash Barrens. It's just a land, and it just kind of filters through your deck. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. In white, we have Gleam of Resistance and Landscaper Kolos, both of which have basic land cycling. Gleam of Resistance is an instant to give your creatures a small buff until end of turn, and when Landscaper Kolos enters the battlefield, you put a card from an opponent's graveyard on the bottom of their library. Kind of neat little utilities there. In blue, we've got Mental Journey and Traumatic Visions. Mental Journey draws you 3 cards, and Traumatic Visions counters a spell. With black, we've got Absorb Vis and World Weary. Both have basic land cycling, of course. Absorb Vis makes a target player lose 4 life and you gain 4 life, and World Weary enchants a creature to give it -4/-4. Red gives us Battle Plan and Fiery Fall. Battle Plan gives one of your creatures +2/+0 during combat, and Fiery Fall deals 5 damage to target creature. Green has Orchard Strider and Sylvan Bounty. Orchard Strider is a tree folk that enters to give you 2 foods, and Sylvan Bounty just makes a player gain 8 life. For multicolored, we've got Ancient Excavation, Grave Upheaval, Migratory Route, Sylvan Reclamation, and Treacherous Terrain. Ancient Excavation draws cards equal to the number of cards in your hand, and then you discard a card for each card drawn this way, and then basic land cycling, of course, all of these do. Grave Upheaval puts a target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, and it gains haste. Migratory Route creates 4 1/1 birds with flying. Sylvan Reclamation exiles 2 target artifacts or enchantments. Treacherous Terrain deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of lands that player controls. Now I've got our specific types of cycling. So first we're going to start with Plains Cycling. We've got Angel of the Ruins, Eternal Dragon, Noble Templar, and Timeless Dragon. Angel of the Ruins is an angel with flying. Whenever it enters the battlefield, exile 2 target artifacts or enchantments. Eternal Dragon is just a flying dragon, and then you can return it from your graveyard to your hand. Noble Templar is just a vigilance human cleric soldier. And Timeless Dragon is a flying eternalized dragon that you can eternalize later. And of course, they all have plain cycling. For island cycling, we've only got one that specifically does island cycling, and it's Shoreline Ranger. It's just a 3/4 flyer bird soldier. Same with swamp cycling, we've got Twisted Abomination, just the one, and you can pay a black to regenerate it, and it's a zombie mutant. Mountain cycling, now we've got a couple here. We've got Chartooth Cougar and Ruin Grinder. Chartooth Cougar has Fire Breathing, giving it an extra combat bonus, and Ruin Grinder has Menace, and when it dies, each player may discard their hand and draw 7 cards. Kind of neat. Forest cycling, we see Elvish Aberration and Wirewood Guardian. Both of them are elf mutants. Both of them have forest cycling, and if you want to wait for all the mana for Elvish Aberration, you can tap it to add green to your mana pool. Now we've got a few multi-cycling cards just with a couple of different land cycling abilities. Igneous Pouncer is a 5/1 with haste, and it has swamp cycling and mountain cycling. Jessian Zombies is a 2/4 zombie with fear, and it has island cycling and swamp cycling. Pale Recluse, I think it's one of, if not the only spider in white. It's a 4/5 with reach, and it's got forest cycling and plains cycling. Sanctum Plowbeast is a 3/6 defender, and it has plains cycling and island cycling. Valley Renette is a 6/3 beast with mountain cycling and forest cycling. Now, last but not least, we have the only card that does artifact land cycling, and that is Sojourner's Companion. It's a salamander with affinity for artifacts. It's a 4/4, and it's got artifact land cycling. So you can pay 2, discard it, and search for an artifact land specifically and put it in your hand. Kind of a fun twist on the whole cycling thing. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. I'm glad that you stayed till the end. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time for your weekly dose of magic.